Just how finals weeks go for your kids?
Well, it's almost over. We have 3 kids that have tests tomorrow morning, and about 4 kids that have tests today, but the majority of them are done. So, it's just draining, exhausting. It's just, I talked to some of our RIP guys, and they haven't been here all week. They just came in for one came in for an hour, and they're like brain dead and mush. Their brains mush. So he's like, I can't believe how student athletes do it. So, but things have been fine. I mean, we went Tuesday for 2 hours yesterday, about an hour and 45 minutes, and today we'll start focusing on Kansas.
Do you feel pretty good academically about your kids coming out of this?
Yeah. I mean, everything should be fine. All of them always have one tough class, but the rest are, that's just normal in their majors. But it'll be interesting for KK and Courtney because next semester they only have 1 or 2 classes, so they won't know what to do with themselves.
More basketball for them.
That's
right?
what I'm hoping for. That's how it should be when you're 5th year senior.
What's been the focus on the court this week?
Just a lot of fundamentals, working on man-to-man defense, a couple of our zone defense and offenses. That's been the biggest focus, and just keeping them in the gym, getting them up and down a little bit. That actually helps when you're studying so much. So, but Kansas an all man-to-man team, so that's gonna be the focus, obviously, the next 2 days.
What have you seen out of Whitney the first 8 games, and just kind of where her comfort level is today, as opposed to when you first started this thing a couple months ago?
Yeah, I mean, Whitney has grown in a lot of different areas. I think there was 3 games out of the 8 where she got in foul trouble, which was bothersome, and then it plays with her mind, and she had to learn how to get over that. And it's okay. You're gonna get probably 3 fouls a game, and trying to settle her down that way. But as for her game, when a play breaks down, she always usually makes the correct flash to the ball to be open, and she can score the basketball rather than putting it on the floor or knocking down the shot. I thought her rebounding at times is very key. She sometimes gets those key offensive boards, and she just has to continue to grow the knowledge of the game and the things that we need, what we're looking for in some of our offenses.
Just to have a player with those kind of instincts. Just how beneficial has that been, and can that be once you get in the Big Ten season?
Well, I think it's big because, like I've said, I think she's a gamer where she wants the ball in her hand and she can make a play for herself or somebody else. We know when she gets the ball down low, most of the time she's going to try to score 90% of the time, but when she faces the basket, she is very smart of finding other people. So, but you need that because, people are going to take things away. You're trying to execute an offense, and I think her versatility from the outside and inside obviously is going to help us.
You like where you're at from a depth standpoint? You hit this stretch, you got 3 games in a week, 2 on the road. So you feel comfortable where you're at with the bench and the minutes that are being dispersed?
Yeah, we did that early on, so now we're kind of, hopefully in a flow, you're in better basketball shape, and we did that early on, and I think, we're pretty much using everybody, whether it's 10 or 11 players, so it's just, as I tell them, is when they come in, you have to be productive. Those productive minutes, the more minutes you're going to get is if you're productive, you go in and do some good things. And, that's what it comes down to. Practice is one thing, but games, you can't make a bunch of mistakes and not make up for it on one part of the floor, defensively or offensively. So I think once we get through finals, we can just focus on basketball. I think some good things are ahead.
What have been the factors behind why you think KK has come out and played so well this year?
I think it's maturity. I think it's just having less stress. You're a 5th year senior. I said, just have fun. Don't put everything on your back. We were able to develop some players around you, and I think she's seeing that and playing the off guard. It doesn't put all the pressure on her defensively and offensively. And that wears you out, I mean, most players, their point guards are the best defensive players, which they need to be for the most part. Not all teams, but that's kind of my philosophy. And then we ask her to do a lot of things, not just be a consummate point guard, but to score the ball. So I think now she's just settled down and is just letting the game come to her a lot more. And I think she's, just understanding the big picture, but she's just having fun.
Just talking to her, she's always been sort of a shoot first type of player. Was it a struggle to try and, years ago, try and mold her into what you wanted as a point guard, and does this just sort of free her up to be herself a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's always been a scoring point guard. Like when we had Fakar here, she wasn't.
Right.
I think when I like scoring point guards. But I think she continued to learn that balance. I don't think it was a major struggle. I think she just, as the games come to her, and the people around you is what helps you get better and grow your game. And I think that was very good over the last couple of years because of the type of team we had. I think your first year is always tough because you're trying to, as a freshman, you're trying to make a statement and do that. But I think she's handled it very well, and now it's, she relies on April and Courtney and Dee Dee. I mean, there's a variety of people that can bring the ball down, and I think it's the people that surround you that allow you to do a lot of different things.
Was it a pretty easy decision, I assume in the summer or whenever it was made, to go with April as the primary one? And
Yeah, I mean, after April did such a great job with those,
Yeah.
Being able to play. I mean, KK still has the ball in her hand a good majority of the time, but because that's what we want. I mean, she knows what I want at all times and has that senior leadership. And but it's nice to be able to get her up and down the floor because she's so fast and she can shoot, and she's shooting the 3 ball pretty well and consistently. So just having a freshman have that much experience, having 20 minutes and being in all those overtimes and shooting and making, daggers. I mean, that just built April's confidence, and and she loves. April likes to have the ball in her hands and make everybody look great.
Just with Kansas, what do you expect out of them?
They've played pretty much all man-to-man. They've got a nice solid post player inside. Last night she scored like 30 points. She can score down low. We have to do a good job of containing her to some degree. I think their guard play, I think when they're shooting the ball, sometimes they're shooting well, sometimes they're not. But some of them can take off the dribble, some can knock down the shot. I think Boyd is another player because she plays a 3-4. When she's at the 3, it's good for us. And if she plays at the 4, we just have to change how we play. But I think we can beat them in transition if we box out. I think our transition game, as we've seen, even against Duke and other teams, that when we rebound, we can run, and our quickness will hurt them. But it always comes back to playing solid defense, not taking risk, and rebounding, and then the rest should come.
Kind of a welcome sight to see some man-to-man, won't it?
Yeah, we played against zone almost the whole time except Stanford, So, we'll see. We do well against zone, so maybe we wish they played zone. But that's what we need, because when we go in the Big Ten, they're going to play a variety. And we've got to be able to see if we've grown in that area.